All right, this is a story I've been wanting to share for a long, long time. And this story is called The All-Powerful Genie. All right, so imagine this. There is a man going to a market somewhere in the Middle East, okay? And he is going into this market and he comes across a merchant who claims he has a magical lamp for sale and it contains an all-powerful genie. And the man's intrigued. But the merchant warns him that if you do not keep this all-powerful genie busy, it will consume you. But the man's not worried about that at all because he's like, I have enough wishes to keep this genie busy for the rest of my life. And so he purchases the magical lamp. He takes it. He can't wait to get home to use it. So he takes it home. He rubs the lamp and an all-powerful genie appears. It's very menacing, hovers above him and says, "What is thy bidding, master?" And the man says, "I wish for the fanciest of carriages pulled by 6 magnificent stallions." The genie says, "Your wish is my command." Takes off. Not even like 5 minutes later, a carriage pulled by 6 magnificent stallions pulls up. And the man's like, all right, I like this. Genie says, what is thy wish, master? And the man says, let me see. Oh, I know. This will keep him busy for a long time. I wish for you to build me a magnificent palace on that hill. And the genie says, your wish is my command. Takes off. And the man's like, all right, that should keep him busy for a while. So he's going to go about his day. And then not even 5 minutes later again, boom, genie appears again. What is thy wish, master? And the man looks on the hill. And sure enough, there's a magnificent palace on the hill, completely built. And he's just like, he did that super fast. And he's like, wow. For the first moment, he's actually doubting on whether or not he can keep this genie busy. And then he's like, fill the palace with magnificent treasures from all over the world. And the genie says, thy wish is my command, master. The genie takes off. And the man's like, all right, that should keep him busy for a while because he's going to have to go around the world. He's going to collect all this stuff, fill it up. Should take him. And the genie's back. And he says, what is thy wish, master? And the man's like, he already did this already. And now he knows that he cannot keep this genie busy for very long, let alone a lifetime. And as he's thinking about this, the genie's getting bigger and more upset. He said, what is thy wish, master? If you do not give me something to do, I will consume you. And the man's like, make me the wealthiest man in the world. The genie says, thy wish is my command. And he takes off. And now the man's like, oh no. And he takes one of the stallions off the carriage and he rides it into town as fast as he possibly can because he's in trouble. He cannot keep this genie busy. And he now knows it. And he comes across the merchant. And the merchant says, I warned you. If you're not able to keep that genie busy, it will consume you. And the man's like, I know. And I can't. What do I do? And the merchant, feeling bad for him, says, I can't help you, but there's a wise sage in town that can. Go to him. If he can't help you, no one can. So the man rides the stallion as fast as he can, looking around, hoping that genie doesn't appear at any moment. And he finds the wise sage sitting in a park, just doing his thing. And the man goes up to him and tells him his predicament. And without saying a word, the wise man reaches over, plucks the curly hair from the man's head, and gives it to him. And now the man's like, what am I supposed to do with this? And the wise man says, have the genie straighten it when the genie has nothing to do. And then the man's like, okay. And he hops on stallion. He's not even halfway home before that genie reappears. And the genie's like, what is thy bidding, master? And the man says, shaking, I wish for you to straighten this hair. The genie takes it, looks at the hair, pulls it, trying his best to straighten that hair out. And as soon as he lets go, it snaps back into a curl. The genie tries it again, takes his time, pulling on that hair. Let's go. Snaps back again. Pulls it in. Curly hair snaps back. And now the man can finally relax. So whenever he has nothing for the genie to do, he can now give him that curly hair, which will keep him occupied. All right, so what does this story mean, right? Bride's like, wasting my time telling me these childish stories. Or am I? So it makes perfect sense once you realize what the all-powerful genie represents. And what the all-powerful genie represents is our minds. This genie between our ears, this brain of ours, can make all of our wishes come true. If we put enough effort and focus into it, we can make all of our wishes come true. But it's a double-edged sword. At the same time, if we do not take conscious control of our mind, then it can turn on us and consume us through negative thoughts and negative thinking. I'm just thinking of times, especially that night, as people, me included, try to go to sleep, think of all these random thoughts that'll enter your mind. And before you know it, you're feeling sad. People you may miss, think of relationships that went sour, situations at work, etc. Just goes on and on. Before you know it, now you're just like, you're in a bad mood. You wake up in a bad mood and it just goes on from there. That is our minds, that all-powerful genie starting to consume us. So now what does that curly hair represent? All right, so the curly hair represents, wait for it, meditation. That's right. Now you're like rolling your eyes like, oh, here we go. No, meditation, seriously, meditation is a great way to learn how to control that all-powerful genie. When you meditate, you are forced to pay attention to your thoughts. So as you take that curly hair and you're sitting there thinking about nothing, you will notice intrusive thoughts that'll just come in. And it could be about anything. We have things to do. We don't have time to be sitting here doing nothing. You let that thought go, recognize it for what it is, and just let it float away like a cloud, and you go back to meditating. Then as you're sitting there meditating, it won't even take a minute before another thought will enter your mind. Remember what so-and-so said to you at work today? How dare he or she or whatever, right? Trauma. Let that thought go too. And then you go back to meditating. That is the curly hair. You know, every time these random intrusive thoughts enter your mind, all you have to do is let it go. And if you practice this on a daily basis, 5 minutes, I remember the first time I meditated for 5 minutes, I kept looking at my watch. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the longest 5 minutes of my life. But over time, it gets easier. So I went from 5 to 10 to 20, and now I can meditate for like 45 minutes. And one of my most favorite times to meditate is when after I go hiking and I'll sit somewhere up on the mountain, like on a rock or a ledge or something, and I'll just be sitting up there meditating, you know, listening to the birds and the city down below. Oh. And when I'm done, I'm so at peace. I almost come down like almost floating on clouds or something. It's beautiful. And you'll start to experience that too. It almost feels like you took a nap. You feel refreshed afterwards. That's the only way to describe it. You feel refreshed and at peace, like you're ready to take on anything. It's like a mental break. That's what meditation does. And here's another one of the benefits of it. Now when you're in your day-to-day life, you'll start to pay attention to your thoughts more, conscious attention to your thoughts. So when these negative thoughts enter your mind, like when you're at work or when you're driving or whatever, you'll be like, okay, why am I thinking about this? It's just going to put me in a bad mood. I don't need to go there right now. Just let it go and move on and go back to that curly hair. Now you're starting to practice meditation in life, in work in life. And as a result, you're becoming more of a calm person. Now, we've all met people that have this inner sense of calm. You can feel it when you're around them. You enjoy being around them because they have this chill, this permanent chill mode going on. That's most likely wise because they do practice meditation. Very spiritual people. You'll know it when you come across them, when you're in tune. So that's the meaning of the all-powerful genie and the curly hair. I always say that there's no change without challenge. So that is my challenge to you to meditate. Practice meditating this week, 5 minutes. And you don't need to download some fancy app on your phone. You don't need to pay a monthly fee or anything like that. This is free. Just find a spot in your house or even outdoors somewhere and sit down for 5 minutes, set a timer, practice thinking about nothing and paying attention to your thoughts when they enter. All right, so practice that this week and leave comments down below if you did and what your experiences were with it, because I love reading those comments. It helps me know that the stuff that I'm sharing is actually helping other people, because the best way to grow is by growing others. If you need more instruction on this, I do one-on-one coaching sessions and consultations. But if you're interested in that, DM me and we can arrange something, all right? And I'll give you more details on it. But with that said, I want to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to me here. Just remember to control that all-powerful genie, that mind of ours. Super powerful. It can do amazing things. It can make all of our wishes come true. But if we do not take conscious control of it, it can run away and start to consume us, all right? Don't let that happen to you. Let's put it to use in a constructive way to make the world a better place, because that's what this is all about anyway. That's why I do what I do. If you're doing the same and you're like-minded, join my community, like this video, make comments down below that I am part of Tribe 360, okay? And with that said, you have been listening and watching Brighthearted 360. Until next time.